Is faith so cheap, my child? Faith is the last word. If one has faith, the goal is practically reached. Pray to God and make your heart as pure as the star. I tell you one thing, if you want peace of mind, do not fault with others. We have to surrender ourselves completely to the Lord with faith and devotion in Him, serve others to the best of our capacity, and never be a source of sorrow to anybody. I can never refuse anyone who addresses me as mother. As you smell the fragrance of a flower by handing it or the smell of sandalwood by rubbing it against a stone, so you obtain spiritual awakening by constantly thinking of God. The world is going on because not all can be free of desires. People with desires are born again and again. We suffer as a result of our own actions. It is unfair to blame anybody for it. No one can suffer for all time. No one will spend all his days on this earth in suffering. Every action brings its own result, and one gets one's opportunities accordingly. God cannot be realized without love. Yes, sincere love. One should not hurt others even by words. One must not speak an unpleasant truth unnecessarily. There is no treasure equal to contentment and no virtue equal to fortitude. You see, my son, it is not a fact that you will never face dangers. Difficulties always come, but they do not last forever. You will see that they pass away like water under a bridge. Don't be afraid. Human birth is full of suffering and one has to endure everything patiently, taking the name of God. None, not even God in human form, can escape the sufferings of the body and mind. Even the impossible becomes possible through devotion. Let me tell you how to love all equally. Do not demand anything of those you love. If you make demands, some will give you more and some less. In that case you will love more those who give you more and less those who give you less. Thus your love will not be the same for all. You will not be able to love all impartially. I tell you one thing. If you want peace of mind, do not find fault with others. Rather learn to see your own faults. Learn to make the whole world your own. No one is a stranger, my child, this whole world is your own. I am the mother of the wicked as I am the mother of the virtuous. Never fear. Whenever you are in distress, say to yourself, I have a mother. The happiness of the world is transitory. The less you become attached to the world, the more you enjoy peace of mind. One should perform even an insignificant task with respect. As clouds are blown away by the wind, the thirst for material pleasures will be driven away by the utterance of the Lord's name. Open your grief-stricken heart to the Lord. Weep and sincerely pray, O Lord, draw me towards you, give me peace of mind. By doing so constantly you will gradually attain peace of mind. What an illusion Mahamaya has conjured up! Here is this infinite world, and what one claims as his possession will be left behind at death. Still men cannot understand this simple truth. Everything, husband, wife, or even the body, is only illusory. These are all shackles of illusion. Unless you can free yourself from these bondages, you will never be able to go to the other shore of the world. Such is life, here today, gone tomorrow. Nothing goes with one, except one's merit and demerit. Good and evil deeds follow one even after death. A person may have no relatives anywhere, but Mahamaya may make him keep a cat and thus make him worldly. This is how she plays. Realization of God cannot be achieved without ecstatic love for Him. If you do a good act, it cancels the effects of your evil deeds. If one prays, takes the name of God and thinks of Him, the effects of evil are cancelled. Why do people argue? Even the wisest of men have not found God through argument. Is God a subject for argument? The difference between a great soul and an ordinary man is this: the latter weeps while leaving this body, whereas the former laughs. Death seems to him a mere play. Pray to God with tears in your eyes whenever you want illumination or find yourself faced with any doubt or difficulty. The Lord will remove all your impurities, assuage your mental anguish, and give you enlightenment. Ordinary human love results in misery. Love for God brings blessedness. He who thinks always of the Lord, which way can evil come to him? The whole world is a dream, even this, the waking state, is a dream. What you dreamt last night does not exist now. One suffers as a result of one's own actions. So, instead of blaming others for such sufferings, one should pray to the Lord and, depending entirely on His grace, try to bear them patiently and with forbearance under all circumstances. Even avatars, saints, and sages have to undergo the ordeal of suffering, for they take upon themselves the burden of sins of omission and commission of ordinary human beings and thereby sacrifice themselves for the good of humanity. Don't puzzle the mind with too many inquiries. One finds it difficult to put one single thing into practicing, but dares invite distraction by filling the mind with too many things. People complain about their griefs and sorrows and how they pray to God but find no relief from pain. But grief itself is a gift from God. It is the symbol of His compassion. My child, I bless you from my heart that you live long, attain devotion, and enjoy peace. Peace is the principal thing. One needs peace alone. One must be patient like the earth. What iniquities are being perpetuated on her? Yet she quietly endures them all. When one realizes God, He grants knowledge and illumination from within. One knows it oneself. In the fullness of one's spiritual realization, one will find that He who resides in one's heart, resides in the hearts of others as well, the oppressed, the persecuted, the untouchable, and the outcast. However strong or beautiful this body may be, its culmination is in those 3 pounds of ashes. And still people are so attached to it. Glory be to God. The grace of God is the thing that is needful. One should pray for the grace of God. He who has really prayed to the Master, even once, has nothing to fear. By praying to Him constantly, one gets ecstatic love, prema bhakti, through His grace. Rebirth is inevitable so long as one has desires. It is like taking the soul from one pillowcase and putting it into another. Only 1 or 2 out of many men can be found who are free from all desires. Does one get faith by mere studying of books? Too much reading creates confusion. The Master used to say that one should learn from the scriptures that God alone is real and the world illusory. What else does one obtain by realization of God? Does one grow 2 horns? No, the mind becomes pure, and through a pure mind one attains knowledge and awakening. The Mother of the universe is the mother of all. From her have come out both good and evil. If one calls upon Him repeatedly, He becomes compassionate, and so a devoted attachment comes into being. This love for love's sake should be hidden from all eyes. The creation itself is full of griefs. How can one understand joy if there is no sorrow? And how can everyone be happy at the same time? In the course of time one does not feel even the existence of God. After attaining enlightenment one sees that gods and deities are all Maya. This world is moving around like a wheel. That indeed is the last birth in which one gets completely rid of all desires. Desire may be compared to a minute seed. It is like a big banyan tree growing out of a seed, which is no bigger than a dot. He who will pray to God eagerly will see Him. Give up this dry discussion, this hodgepodge of philosophy. Who has been able to know God by reasoning? Even sages like Sukha and Vyasa are at best like big ants trying to carry away a few grains of sugar from a large he. Certainly you will have doubts. There will be questionings and faith will return again. That is how faith is established. No doubt, God alone has become all these objects, animate and inanimate, but in the relative world all beings act and suffer according to their past karma and innate tendencies. My son, forbearance is a great virtue, there's no other like it. As long as a man has desires there is no end to his transmigration. It is the desires alone that make him take one body after another. There will be rebirth for a man if he has even the desire to eat a piece of candy. The conjunction of the day and the night is the most auspicious time for calling on God. The mind remains pure at this time. In one word, one should desire of God desirelessness. For desire alone is at the root of all suffering. It is the cause of repeated births and deaths. It is the obstacle in the way of liberation.